Sir, no hit.
All right, welcome guys. My name is Nancy, and I'm with the Clearwater Aquarium, and we're going to be talking about Winter's tail, how she lost it and how she got it back. All right, so how many of you guys have seen the movie? Yay, how many of you guys have seen the movie? Oh, lots of people here, fantastic. So we're going to talk about, the movie was great. There's a few differences in the movie and what really happened, so we're going to talk about her real story. Right. And there's lots of heroes in this story. It's one of my favorites. It's also one of Nicholas's favorite too. So if we can take ourselves back to a colder winter day in 2005, there was a baby dolphin, winter, right? Playing out in the waters off Cape Canaveral, off a place called Mosquito Lagoon. She was just a baby, and they're very curious. So she was playing and jumping and diving like baby dolphins do, and having a great time, when she saw a buoy floating on the water. It's kind of like kids and candy. They're just so attracted to toys. They're so curious, especially when they're little, right? When they're little kids, they want to touch everything. They want to explore it. They want to play with it. Well, she started playing with this buoy that was on the water. But unbeknownst to her, of course, it was attached to a rope that was attached to a crab trap. So as she's playing with this buoy, she's getting wrapped very tightly into this rope that's attached to the crab trap. The more she plays, the more she tries to struggle, the tighter it gets. By the time she was finished, this rope was wrapped around her mouth, her side, and very tightly around her tail. So she's kind of struggling in the water. But thankfully, there was a fisherman out on the waters that day named Jim Savage. And the waters were kind of calm because that buoy bouncing out on the water really caught his attention. He had to go investigate. He's like, what is going on over there? It's not normal that a buoy is just bouncing around on the water. So he goes over to take a look. And if you can imagine his surprise when he finds this little tiny baby dolphin wrapped up in this rope, struggling. So he does the right thing. He says, I'm going to cut her loose of this and hopefully she'll just swim away and everything will be okay. So he cuts her free from this rope. But unfortunately, she was hurt kind of bad. So she didn't just swim away. She was kind of hanging out there. And he realized that she was in a bit of trouble. So he also did the right thing again, and he called for help. He got rescue people to come and take care of her. Since she was on the East Coast, we had Hubs SeaWorld and Harborview Oceanographic Institute that came to get her. They took care of her, and they called Clearwater Marine Aquarium because we had the space, the facilities, the care that we could give her, so they ended up transporting her to us. When she got here, she really wasn't in very good shape. We were really concerned about her. So we started working with her 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We were holding her in the water, making sure she was okay, doing everything we could. Every day, the volunteers that worked with her and the staff would say goodbye to her, thinking when they came back for their next shift, she wouldn't be here. They didn't think she was going to make it. And they were really sad about that. But my gosh, every day they came back, there is Winter, a little bit stronger, hanging in there. She was a tough little dolphin. She did not want to give up. And her spirit is so strong. And so every day, a little stronger. It was fantastic. But then you know what happened? Do you remember in the movie where they amputated her tail? Do you remember that part? That's not really what happened, of course. Because the rope was so tight around her tail, it actually started to fall off by itself in pieces. If you can imagine. As we're helping rehab this poor little dolphin, we're so excited she's getting stronger. But then her tail starts to fall off. And now we're really worried. How's a dolphin going to swim without a tail? Is she going to be able to survive? So she's still hanging in there. And our CEO, everyone is so amazed at this little spirit that this little dolphin has. Our CEO put a story out about winter on NBC News, and it spread like wildfire, and it went to NPR. And when it hit NPR, a gentleman picked it up named Kevin Carroll. He's a big hero in this story too. Kevin Carroll works with Hanger Clinic, and Hanger Clinic makes prosthetics. And he calls and he says, I've heard this story about this dolphin that won't give up, and now she's lost her tail. I want to make a tail for this dolphin. Well, can you imagine what we first thought? Like, is he serious? Or he's kidding us? But he was serious, and it had never been done before. So we agreed, and the research for this tail for a dolphin began. It took about 6 months to make a tail for Winter. There was a lot of research that went into it. During the time that they were creating her new tail, we were doing a process with the dolphin called desensitization to get her ready. Do you guys remember the scene in the movie where they put the tail on her and she kicked it off? Do you think that really happened? Nope. It never happened in real life because of a process called desensitization. It works like this. They know that she's going to have to wear a tail, so they work with her very slowly over time to get her ready for the feeling that that's going to be put on her. So maybe they put a little cloth around the end of her tail. They might do different things to get her ready. So actually when her tail went on her, she was fine with it. She was ready. She was glad to have it. So that scene where she butted it off never happened. So we were really excited. And so do you guys know when you watch Winter, how does she swim in the water? Yeah. Like a shark. What does that look like? Is it like a side-to-side motion? So she developed and taught herself how to swim in that side-to-side shark motion because obviously she can't do that up and down like a dolphin. So she's swimming side to side like a shark. Amazing that she taught herself to swim, but she's overdeveloping her lateral muscles. And so that is actually affecting her spine a little bit, and you can see that her spine is shaped a little bit like a question mark. And so to kind of counteract that, the tail helps her swim more up and down. Yes, do you have a question? That's Nicholas. All right, so the development of the tail was very important because without it, her spine would go through further damage, right? So I need a volunteer to help me hold this up for the audience. Do you want to? Maybe the two of you? We'll get one-on-one in here. There you go. I'll let you hold something else for a minute, okay? All right. So there's your tail. You guys can hold it up so both sides of the audience can see. There you go. Fantastic device. She's had in the upper teens, early 20s, in the numbers of tails that she's had so far. So you kids that are still, what do you guys think? Why has she had so many tails? Can you guess? Yeah. Because she keeps on taking them off? No. Does anybody else have an idea why she might have so many tails? Yeah.
You know how like lizards like grow their tails back, so that's why he or she has so many tails.
That's another really good answer, but it's even simpler than that. Would you guys, little kids that are still growing, would you want to wear the same shoes right now that you had last year? No, you're still growing, and Winter is still growing. So we have to make new tails for her as she gets bigger. So the part that the tail goes on, if you guys hold that up, what's left of her tail, with what you see is the strong muscular part of the dolphin, is called the peduncle. And that is right before the tail flukes. And that's what's left. She has her peduncle. So this part goes on to the peduncle, It's made to fit her exactly like a glove, so it's very comfortable on her. This is made out of a carbon fiber and North Vein material. What's interesting is that it's never been done before. Never made a tail for a dolphin ever. It's the only dolphin that does not have a tail that we know of in the world that has survived. So every time they make a new tail, they try to use better technology. They come up with better designs and try new things out. The new one she had is all black, so they can see it in the water. They put dots on it so they can see the motion of her tail in the water. You know, like us, when we exercise, do we always do what we're supposed to or work really hard? No, so we want to make sure she's doing this in the water and not this again, right? So it's a better way to see what she's doing. All right, so this is the prosthetic tail. What's really cool, thank you guys. And you can set that down or pass that around a little bit if you want. It's actually very heavy, you'd be surprised. What also goes with her tail is this. Does anybody recognize this from the movie? Can you over here? What is this called? You remember it from the movie though? All right, this is Winter's. Is that what you guys were going to say? Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, this is Winter's gel, and it was developed just for Winter. And hey, I need a volunteer. Do you want to come over and help me with this? Do you want to come help? No? All right. Anybody else? Do you want to help? I promised her. All right, I'm going to have you hold this, and then I'm going to have you, if you can, get your hand inside of it and open your hand like this. Yeah, open it up like that. Okay. And then you hold it up so they can see it. And then, okay, and then you guys try to pull it off. Can you do that like this? So you guys see how it kind of sticks to their hand and doesn't come off very easy? All right. That gets put over the end of her peduncle, and then the prosthetic goes on over the top of Winter's gel. And then more gel goes on over top of that to kind of seal it together. It's very soft because the dolphin's skin is so sensitive. They shed their skin every 2 hours. So when she wears her tail, she doesn't wear it all the time. She might wear it a few times a day. She might wear it once a day. One day she might not wear it at all. It's all up to her trainers and what her needs are at the time. It's again used as physical therapy to help her. It's not meant to be on there permanently all the time. It's kind of like if we were in physical therapy or exercising all the time or playing basketball all day, we'd probably get tired of it. So that's why it doesn't stay on all the time. But Winter's gel is fantastic. When they developed this for, thank you, sweetie. When they developed this for Winter, they thought. There was Kevin Carroll from Hanger Clinic had a client that was in the war and lost both his legs. And one amazing thing that came out of Winter's gel is that they thought, well, if we could use it for Winter, we can use it for people too. He wanted to sit in a wheelchair because it was so painful for him to be on his prosthetics. But they got the great idea to use Winter gel for people, and he's now able to walk and live a much more productive life as a result. So this Winter's gel has helped thousands of people around the world. And they love to come to the aquarium and tell us their story about how Winter's gel has helped them and it's changed their life. So if you think about this little dolphin and how powerful she is and how amazing she is, that just by having the spirit that she did, she changed and continues to change so many lives. But there are many heroes in this story. We can kind of count them up. There was the fisherman that stopped to save her. There was Kevin Carroll from Hanger Clinic. There were all the volunteers and staff that helped Winter. And then we have you guys. You're the heroes in this story because you're here supporting our mission of rescue, rehab, and release. And believe me, without your support, we wouldn't be here. We're a nonprofit. We rely on the admissions and donations and support that you provide so that we can help animals such as Nicholas and Winter. So I want to thank you so much for participating and being here. Enjoy your afternoon and the last dolphin show today at 5 o'clock.